I do want to switch to COVID since we are kind of on the topic of health insurance. So, why do you think another potential COVID-19 relief bill has not been passed through Congress yet? And how will you make sure that the people in the district have what they need to make sure that like businesses could stay alive and people feeling safe whenever they need to go to a grocery store? Um, um, these are kind of like examples because the virus is pretty much posing another threat to our country right now.
Yeah, I mean, we see the virus spiking as we speak. And the White House, just as recently as a day or two ago, Mark Meadows, Chief of Staff to the President, waving the white flag, basically saying, we can't control the virus. And so you just got to hope if you get it, that you have a team of 13 doctors like the President had and access to the latest therapies if you go to the hospital. That's just a terrible thing to say. From day one, this president knew back in January the serious nature of this disease. He even said on the record publicly to Bob Woodward that this is very deadly, much more deadly than the flu. So he knew this going in. He chose not to tell us what we were facing. And he also chose not to set an example for the American people about what they should be doing to help contain the virus. In fact, he made fun of people who wore masks. He called Dr. Fauci a disaster and the rest of the scientists that are working on COVID-19 idiots. And so here we are with over 220 some thousand Americans dead, cases spiking dramatically through the Midwest and Western states. This morning on the news, I was watching Utah say that they are just about out of critical care beds, and they're going to have to start making rationing decisions of who they treat and who they don't treat. And we need to, and then we have small businesses that are shuttering up here in Pittsburgh, especially mom and pop restaurants, people in the hospitality industry, the entertainment industry, the airline industry. We passed a COVID bill, and we addressed some of those problems. A stimulus check to people who were unemployed because of the pandemic, money for state and local governments because their revenues are done as a result of the pandemic, and their expenses have gone up because of pandemic-related situations. They need money, or they're going to have to start laying off firemen and EMTs and police officers. Small businesses need more programs like PPP that's going to give loans or grants to small businesses, and they still need more relief. And we know that their situation hasn't gotten better, it's actually gotten worse. So we tried to pass the HEROES Act, and we did in the House 6 months ago, and we sent it to the US Senate. And the US Senate says, we're not going to take it up. Mitch McConnell has an obsession with appointing as many federal judges for life to the bench as he can, conservative judges. And that's basically all the Senate's been doing. Then he said, well, it's too expensive. So we sent a second bill up there. First bill was $3.4 trillion. Our second bill, $2.2 trillion. And we said, okay, we're willing to compromise. We'll bring ours down $1.2 trillion. Mitch still wouldn't take it up. Then the White House decided they were going to negotiate with us. Steve Mnuchin calls the speaker. We were negotiating. Then all of a sudden the president said, call off the negotiations, and abruptly just stopped them. Then he said, a couple days later, let's negotiate again. I mean, it's like craziness trying to negotiate with this administration, because depending on how the president wakes up that morning or what he tweets the nights before completely changes the dynamics of how we negotiate. Well, the bottom line is, and we're learning as recently as today or yesterday, that Mitch was telling the president, don't negotiate a deal with the Democrats because it's going to interfere with our ability to get Amy Coney Barrett voted on to the Supreme Court, and that he felt that was more important than anything else they would do. So basically what Mitch was saying is, the heck with the American people. I don't care that small businesses are shuttering. I don't care that our frontline workers don't have the equipment that they need. I don't care that people aren't getting stimulus checks or unemployment compensation. All I care about is making sure that we make the Supreme Court a 6-3 Supreme Court for generations to come. And that superseded anything with regards to negotiating on COVID. So here we are now, 6 days before the election, with no chance to pass a bill by election day, because there just isn't time to do it now. And it's going to have to wait for either the lame duck session or the beginning of the new Congress. Now, Democrats and Speaker Pelosi have made it very clear that when we do a package, we're making the package retroactive to make people whole and to make these small businesses whole. But I don't know how much longer that they can hold on. The Trump administration seems to be saying, just open up, just go back to things like they're normal. We can't contain this virus, but we're working on these treatments and eventually a vaccine that should help you survive it. I mean, that seems to be the strategy. Well, I got news for you. That's a strategy for hundreds of thousands of more people to die between now and when there's a widely distributed vaccine, which most medical experts tell us isn't going to really be probably till the second quarter of 2021, where there's widespread distribution. And I think that's, fingers crossed that we're at that point in the second quarter. So I just think it's shameful, the behavior we've seen from Senate Republicans and Mitch McConnell in particular during this time.